I'm a punk rocker and I try to be as independent and self-reliant as possible, so I'm learning how to homestead. Welcome to Punksteading. Let's get started. Hey guys, Hannah here. Today I wanted to talk about marigolds. Number one, because all of my vegetables did very poorly this year, and two, because marigold is an absolutely amazing flower. For those of you who don't know, marigold is a really great companion flower because it attracts aphids to them and keeps them off of your vegetables. That's number one really good reason why you should plant marigolds. But the second one is that it is edible. Everything is edible, nothing is poison or toxic on the plant. However, the green is a little bit bitter, but the petals themselves are pretty sweet and they're very fragrant. You can use the petals fresh, you can use them dried, or you can save the seeds for the marigolds. So I've got quite a few here that I want to save seeds for because they did very well, and then we'll harvest the flowers and I'll show you how to process those and how to use the petals. First things first is the seeds. And this guy is a really great example of some that are ready to be harvested. So you want to make sure that this part of the marigold is dry and brown and crispy. You don't want your seeds to be moist. Moisture attracts mold, so it makes it easier to mold. So if you leave it on the plant until this top part is pretty dry, you can more easily harvest your seeds. And those are the petals just falling off. And all you have to do is pinch and pull. You've got a whole big bunch of seeds. I'm going to do that with this one as well. Whole bunch of seeds. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have a whole bunch of seeds already saved. And I'm going to use those for next year because this is a super useful plant, and I am going to plant probably twice as much, if not 3 times as many marigolds next year. Alright. So instead of seed saving, since I already have so many, my priority right now is going to be harvesting the blooms and using those. And a lot of people just pinch the blooms off like this, but to promote more blooming and growth on the flower, you always want to take it down to a node. So I don't know if you guys can see from the camera way back there, but I'm going down this really long stem and cutting right at like the base or the top, wherever you want to call it, of another leaf. And this right here is just a teeny tiny baby marigold bloom that's going to give most of the energy to this marigold bloom, and it's going to create a whole nother flower. So I've got that one. I'm going to drop it in my basket, and we're going to go inside and we're going to separate that bitter green part from the healthy petals. So I'm going to continue to do that. For as many as I feel comfortable doing that with. Some over here. And then you guys see my very sad pumpkins in the background. I didn't water before I did this because I wanted these seeds to stay dry, but I'm going to water pretty soon here. Okay. I'm going to finish harvesting these, and there's a lot more over there, and then we'll go inside and process them. Alright, so we're back inside, and I took my marigolds out of my basket and am spreading them around here. I just put them on a white cloth because it makes it easier to see if they're like bad ones. So like this one, the petals are almost done, so there's not going to be much nutritional value in there. So I'm going to kind of put those to the side and discard them. Oh my gosh guys, it smells so good. So I'm gonna spread them out, see if there are any like real icky gucky ones. Ooh, there's a teeny tiny bird feather on that one, you see? It's so cute. And I'm not seeing any in this batch, so it looks good. They're ready to process. Now, normally when you get something like this, and if you're gonna like eat it immediately, oh, there's another one, see? This one's pretty much done. Even the petals in the middle are gross, so I'm just gonna discard that. So whenever you pick something, normally you want to wash it first. These you can, but the petals are so delicate that I usually don't. Since we'll be drying them, normally the bugs kind of crawl out of there once they realize that they're not getting any nutrients anymore, and I haven't dyed yet. So that's another good thing about spreading them out like this. You're handling them more, you're kind of shaking everything out, making sure that there's no icky gucky bugs or worms or anything in there. You can wash them if you would like, absolutely do so, but it's going to take a little bit longer to dry. It's going to take a little bit longer to process, and you run a really big risk of mold when you do that, because the more moist it is, the more likely it is to mold. So I'm going to show you how I prevent that. Number one is by not washing them, and two is I'm going to use the basket method of drying them. Now, you definitely could eat marigolds as is. I don't really like the petals by themselves, but I do really like it as like a sprinkling on a rice dish. And I've never tried it in tea, but I'm gonna try one in tea like right after I'm done with this video, and you guys can see that as well. This one looks really, really nice, so I'm probably just gonna put that whole thing minus the green stuff in tea. So we'll see how that works. All right, so let's get processing and get drying. The green is edible, but it is going to be pretty bitter. So we're just focusing on getting these petals out, and all you do is you pinch and you kind of wiggle and pull. That's it. Now these are going to be seeds, and that's okay. They're edible as well, but you don't really need them. You just kind of need the petals. So I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle these in, discard this over on my cloth. And I'm just gonna continue doing that. Just getting, there's some gooky ones. Just getting a nice pinch on it and wiggling it out. Wiggling those petals out. See all those seeds that I left in there? You're just wanting the tops. That's it. Pinch, wiggle, wiggle. It's gonna break a little bit, that's fine. And into my basket they go. I'm not gonna bore you guys with doing all of these, but I did want to pay attention to my basket. So I'm using what's called the basket method when drying. I chose this basket even though it's kind of big for so little product. I chose this basket because it has a lot of surface area, meaning lots more surface area. You can spread this out very thinly and it would dry quicker. They're not piled up. You certainly can pile it up if you don't have a basket like this, or if you don't have a basket at all. You can put it in a bowl, but just be sure to rotate everything in the bowl once a day minimally. Twice a day would be a little bit better, just to get some airflow in there so nothing molds. And if it does mold, you can pick it out. You just want good airflow. And I'm using a cloth in here because I didn't want all these teeny tiny petals to get stuck in this large wicker. So the large wicker allows more airflow, and the cloth allows the petals not to fall through. That is my system. All right, here we go. All right, guys, there you have it. My camera died while I was doing the marigold, so I couldn't even put a sped up version in there. But it took me about like less than 10 minutes to do all these petals, and when I realized my camera died, I stopped and I made some tea. But this is what it looks like at the end, and it's just going to stay on this cloth, and the smell is amazing. It's just going to stay on this cloth for probably minimally 2 weeks, and then I'll check it. And you know, I'll probably go in here and fluff it up every now and again. But depending on where you live, if you're in a more humid place, it's going to take longer. If you're in a drier place, and we're still pretty dry right now, it won't take as long. But check it in about 2 weeks, absolutely. And every once in a while, when you think about it, you know, ideally once a day would be great, but whenever you think about it, just go in there, fluff it up, make sure everything is nice and pretty and not moldy and is getting proper airflow. I'm going to leave it here. You guys can't see it, but there's a fan right there, so that's going to give it pretty good air circulation. And I'll be adding to this pile as more marigolds start to bloom, and I'll be adding to my seed pile as well. So, without further ado, let's get to the last little bit. Let's try this marigold tea. It might not have steeped long enough. It's been steeping for, I don't know, 5 or so minutes. Also, if you don't have one of these tiny little baskets and you like tea, please do it. It's been a lifesaver. That way you can like brew loose tea things instead of the little tea baggies. And it's perfect. And I just love how it looks. It's so cute and it fits right in your mug. Anyway, it's not sponsored. I just really, really like it. Alright, let's see if that's steeped long enough. I'll try it without sweetener first. That's actually really good by itself. It's very light, it's very floral, it's a very like late summery drink. It's really, that's good. Hi buddy. That's really good. I'm gonna add a little bit of my crystallized honey. I can't really use this for baking much anymore, but honey never goes bad, it just crystallizes, so it's a really great thing to add to whatever drink you want. That made it even better. That's really good. Tastes just like a flower, sweet and floral. I'm gonna let this steep as much as it can. That was amazing. So I will definitely be using fresh marigold for the remainder of the time it's blooming for teas and such. Again, I like to sprinkle it on my rice dishes. That's really good, fresh. But I'll also continue to be drying it, so I can do this and the dried marigolds on rice dishes throughout the year. And you can use this in various infused oils and things like that as well. So, and if you haven't infused an oil before, it's super easy. I'm going to be doing a video about that very, very soon, so stay tuned. Probably not with these because it won't be dry before I do an infused oil video, but stay tuned for that, and I hope you enjoyed this all about marigolds video. I love marigolds, and I'll be planting probably 3 times as many next year. Bye guys.